This is a little weird because I'm not used to doing this, I guess. But um, for the people that don't know me, my name's Joseph, but everybody calls me Coco. I'm from Cherryville, went to Cherryville, and graduated from Cherryville High School. Anyways, I don't want to make this boring. Um, I'm gonna start doing a YouTube channel. I'm thinking about it, and it's this is pretty much like an introduction. You know, I kind of just wanted to make a video about my life, kind of like where I was before and what I went through to kind of get to where I am now. You know, and maybe right now I'm not like super successful or quite wealthy, I guess you could say, but I think that I've come a long way mentally and spiritually, and I've kind of made a big difference in my life. And it wasn't just because of me, you know, because this is kind of where I wanted to go with this, was the fact that, you know, like I believe that God pretty much saved me from where I was. You know, I consider myself like I was like in a really dark place. I couldn't really see where I was. It was like my eyes were kind of closed. It's kind of crazy to talk about it because it's really hard to describe where you were. But that point in my life, whenever I decided to kind of try to make a difference, try to make a change, because the place where I was, there was no way that I was going to be able to keep going that same way for the rest of my life. Like I was going to go crazy if I would have kept going like that. And it was just a place of a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of blackout drinking, you know, a lot of drugs, and just a lot of mistakes, a ridiculous amount of mistakes. And it ultimately left me in a place of brokenness. And I'm not too sure how the order went. I don't know if I was broken, so I resorted to, you know, drugs and drinking and stuff, or if the bad decisions with the drinking and the drugs kind of led me to a brokenness. But I never really found myself. I really never found who I was meant to be, what my potential was, until I gave my life to God. And I know this sounds cliche, but like by far the best decision that I ever made was giving my life to God. And I know that for a fact. Like I've made, you know, some pretty good decisions, you know, since I've changed. But by far, the best one I ever made was trying to get into a relationship with God. And that doesn't mean religion. It doesn't mean, you know, judging other people, you know, judge yourself. Like that's what I try to do. And like that, I do that to this day, and it stresses me out a lot. But yeah, so I don't know. Don't really know how to structure this, but what I can say is that it's incredible the difference that God can make in somebody's life. And, you know, the people that know me and that knew me 4 or 5 years ago, and before that, you know, because I started very early. I started partying whenever I was like 14, you know, just making wrong decisions, like, you know, smoking cigs and drinking and, you know, just doing dumb stuff. And then from there, it just kind of went downhill. And went downhill until like around 18, I was just in a really, really dark place. It was, I mean, it was just a lot of just depression, not knowing how to act, like just, you know, not being myself, not even knowing who myself was, stuff like that. And then I remember before my 19th birthday, I just kind of cried. Like I cried so hard, and I just kind of told God, I was like, God, like, if this is what I'm going to be living for the rest of my life, like I can't do it. Like, please, I need you, like, but crying my eyes out, like desperation, like a desperate cry, just saying like, God, please, I need you. I need you. Like I don't see any way out of where I am now. Like, please open my eyes. I remember saying that a lot. Like, please open my eyes, because I don't know where I'm at. I don't know who I am. Like I can't keep going like this. And like that night I went to bed crying, like just crying my eyes out. And I woke up the next morning. It was kind of crazy, you know. And like, I'm not trying to say that this is like a huge change from one day to another, but in that precise instant, it kind of was. Because like, I woke up the next day and it was like my eyes were opened. It was like I was with a certain girl and I was like, you know, what am I doing with this chick? Like, I should not be with her. Like, you know, got done with that relationship because it was very bad for both of us, for me and her. And then, you know, I was working at a factory, and God bless that factory. Like, nothing against working at factories, but it just wasn't where I needed to be. And so I quit that job, started working with my dad, you know, started making different decisions and trying to maneuver differently to help my future. And I look back at it now. I've actually got a journal that I wish I could read, but that's just going to be a different video. But yeah, I just think it's amazing and it's crazy the difference that God can make. Because if it was with my own strength, if it was through my own decision making, I kind of saw where that would take me. It took me to a place of, you know, I already said it, you know, anxiety, depression, like crazy amounts of it. And that's where my decision making took me. But whenever it comes to God helping me make decisions and God's decision making and his wisdom and, you know, his kind of insight that he gives you, it's amazing. It really is, because you start kind of making better decisions. You're kind of backed by God, you know. Like, what more could you ask for? And I mean, it's incredible. It really is. And I mean, this is just like an introduction to my YouTube channel. That's kind of what I want to base it around, because I'm not too sure which direction I'm ahead. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. Any questions, let me know. But yeah, I kind of want to base it around like what God was able to do in my life. And if he was able to do it in my life, I know for a fact that he can do it in your life too. Because if he got me out of where I was, as bad as I was, like, it was awful, you know. If he was able to get me out of there, like, I know for a fact that he can get anybody else out of there too. So I hope that somebody's able to get at least a little glimmer of hope from this and is able to realize that it's not about religion. It's just about a relationship with God. If you cry to him and you say, God, I need you. Like, please get me out of here. I don't know what I'm doing here. He will hear you. And it's like you're opening a door for him to come in, because he's sitting there. He's a gentleman. He will sit there at the door, but he's not going to barge in. Like, he's not going to come down from heaven and just be like, I'm going to change your life, if you don't want to. So where it starts is you got to make that decision. You got to cry out and you got to be like, God, please help me. Get me out of here. What do I need to do? How do I get better? But yeah, I mean, I appreciate you watching, and hopefully I'll have some more content in the future. So